Welcome to Arts Roll Call, a podcast showcasing artists and arts organizations, highlighting the role of the arts today in Greater Lansing. I'm Robin Miner Swartz. I'm an editor, communications consultant, and a lifelong arts advocate. And today I'm talking with Heather Majano, the Art Festival and Art Initiatives Coordinator for the City of East Lansing. She's been organizing events for the city for more than 12 years and the East Lansing Art Festival for 4 years. Heather also coordinates the art initiatives in East Lansing, including the Percent for Art requirement, the acquisition of art through the Public Art Fund, and coordination of the cultural arts grants within the Arts Commission. This marks the 61st annual East Lansing Art Festival, taking place May 18th and 19th in downtown East Lansing, featuring nearly 200 artists and 2 full days of performers, interactive artist demonstrations, food trucks, and more. We have a lot to talk about. Hi, Heather. Welcome to Arts Roll Call. Thanks so much for
Hello.
joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure your plate is quite full with the festival just a few weeks away, so we appreciate you making the time to join us. Before we talk about the Arts Festival, though, I'd love for you to talk a bit about yourself. What's your background, and what has it been like to lead this work for the city of East Lansing?
Well, my background is not the conventional art background that you might think. I actually have a master's in the human dimensions of forestry with a specialization in gender justice in the environment. So I was originally hired at the city to run our environmental stewardship program. And then through that, I started helping out at the farmers market and then running the farmers market and then helping out with planning the other community events like the summer concert series and the moonlight movies and play in the park. And then I started running those. And then the Summer Solstice Jazz Festival was added to my plate. And then I had the opportunity to stay kind of in that realm, but switch to just arts. So that was about 4 years ago, and I just run the East Lansing Art Festival, the art initiatives, and then I still actually do the environmental stewardship program as well.
That's a great story. And I talk to a lot of students when they're looking at career paths, and I tell them whatever you're getting your degree in is very likely not going to be the job you have 10, 15, 30 years from now, because evolution is a real thing in careers. And I love to hear about the path you've taken.
Yeah, I'm really blessed to have had a supervisor that saw things in myself that I didn't think about, and he saw that I could do these things, and he's like, "Why don't you try it out and just see how it goes?" And here I am 12 years later.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk specifically about the art festival. What goes into putting that together? Like, what does the beginning of your planning look like each year?
Well, as you know, the festival is in May, 18th and 19th this year. Festival planning for the next year will start, I think June 1st is a Saturday, so it'll start on the 3rd, June 3rd. We'll start reviewing comments, questions, our own personal notes. I have 3 on-site coordinators throughout the weekend, the festival assistant, and an intern. We kind of all get together, share our notes. How did it go? What went right? What went wrong? And we start kind of thinking about how things might change or might be better for next year. We also start reviewing the graphic design request for qualifications for the following year. At that time, we don't release it until July, but we start looking at it and rewriting it in June.
So it truly is a year-long planning process up to the event.
It is, yes. Yep.
Well,
Every month has its own thing.
I bet. I mentioned at the beginning that this is the 61st year of the Art Festival. Why do you think it's had such longevity? Why has it remained such a popular and well-loved event?
I think the people just love art. People love festivals, events. For a long time, the festival in this community has been one of the first ones. I think now Old Town has some other events that come before it in the year, but it might be the first one where there's good weather sometimes. And people are just ready to get out of the house, break out of their winter doldrums and come out into the summer sunshine enjoy the art and their people, their friends, enjoy it all. I think that because of the timing of it in the year, that has helped us a lot.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Can you talk a bit about what goes into the selection process for the artists? How many people are involved in that? How many applications do you get in an average year?
Yeah, so um, we invite artists in the community that have not applied to be at the festival to be our on-site and anonymous jury.
Mm.
We aim for at least 5, but we prefer about 9 jurors. This year we filled out at 9. Um, and we break down the categories that the festival has for the artists, and we give each juror 4 or 5 categories that their expertise falls in, and they review all the applications. We also make sure that the applications are anonymous. So yes, it's a small community and there's a lot of people. We recognize each other's art, and that's just part of the process. That's fine. Um, but we make sure that the process is as anonymous as it can be. And so we're just looking at images. The jurors are just looking at images. They score each artist on a scale of 1 to 7, 1 being not great, 7 being great. So the higher your score, the better. And then the festival assistant and I take a look at all of those scores and determine how many in each category we can accept. So one of our biggest categories is painting. We had almost 40 applications just in painting. Even if they're all great, we can't take 40 artists in one category because we have so many categories. So we look at like generally about 4.7 is a good cutoff for fine art quality in this particular category. But the next category we look at maybe what would it be? Jewelry, precious jewelry. Well, that's another huge category, but perhaps the quality kind of plummets after a 6.5. So maybe there's a lot of 7s and 6.5s, and we can take a few more of them. So it's a different cutoff number every category is essentially what I'm getting at.
Mhm.
And we just try to fill out the festival and have the most kinds of categories, the most diversity of artists, and most diversity of offerings that we can. And then we always make sure that there's a little bit of a wait list. Typically, our wait list always gets in because there's inevitably people who applied and then something has come up and they can't get in. They can't accept our invitation anyway. But then that's how it goes. This year we had over 300 artists apply. We only have room for 180 to 200. So we have 176 artists this year at the festival who have confirmed. And it's going to be about the biggest festival we've had coming back into it from COVID. So I'm excited for that.
What makes an entry really stand out? I mean, I know you have that judging rubric you talked about, but is there ever something special that either the judges tell you really stood out or that you notice?
Yeah, so we like to see a cohesive application, which means a few things. So we ask for 4 images of your art plus a booth shot. Ideally, what we see is 4 images, individual images, that when we look at your booth shot, we also either see those images or we see images similar to them. So it's almost like you're curating your own gallery show. That's one of the differences between a fine art festival and the art and craft fair across the street, which the director of that and I have talked a lot about the differences in our applications. So we're trying to have gallery quality art lining the street of the festival. So we want it to look like each booth is its own little gallery. So we want cohesive designs. We want something, if we see a lot of like note cards or wine glasses or something in your booth, that's going to bring your average, your points down, because those aren't things allowed in our festival. The cool thing about having artists from all different backgrounds and different categories be our jurors is that they're all looking for something different. Some of them are looking for something similar to their work. Some of them are looking for bright colors. Some of them are looking for black and white. So that's one of the reasons that we are really intentional about the group that we bring together. So it's not just one kind of thing that we're looking for, but we have a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are some of your favorite elements about the festival? What do you always look forward to?
Oh man, I always, not the festival itself, but I always look forward to the team I put together to pull off the festival. We work really well together, and it's the only time of the year that all of us are in one space, because there are 3 coordinators that we hire just for the weekend of the festival. And it's just really great to be a working team. Like, we communicate well, we know strengths, weaknesses, we can help each other out. And I really enjoy that aspect of the festival. Last year, I was very, very pregnant. In fact, I had a baby 3 weeks later, and my
Wow.
team would not let me leave. I felt fully supported and cared for at the same time as I'm, hosting this giant festival. So it was really great. The festival specifically, I really look forward to the artist demonstration area. Our festival assistant, Tim Lane, he organizes that, and he always makes sure there's a mix of familiar faces there and new faces. He makes sure that there are things that people can do, hands-on things, and also things that artists can just demonstrate and show. He just puts together such a great event. And then I really look forward to the food court too. This year, CATA is hosting the food court, and we're really grateful for that new partnership. But we put together such a great menu, I think, that it's hard not to spend a lot of time down there and just try everything.
Well, in addition to the food and the art, what sort of entertainment or interactive elements will people find at the festival this year?
Yeah. So the artist demonstration area, again, we have
Mhm.
some great demos there. A couple new ones that we're trying out. So we've worked with Seams, a textile shop before, but this year they're putting together a community indigo dye vat. So if you have something that's old or stained fabric wise, you can bring it, dip it in the indigo vat, and you can have something totally new and like refurbished, revitalized. And then they're also going to do a community quilt. So they're going to have scraps and invite people to come to their sewing machine and just sew a quilt together as a community. We're also working with the Delhi Glass Company, and they're going to be putting together a community glass mosaic. So community is invited to come and participate in that. And then our performances at the Jackson Main Stage on Ann Street Plaza again this year. We've got 2 full days of performers. The Habibi dancers are going to be there. The Eagle Spirit dancers are going to be back. And then we also have a local band, Wild Honey Collective, is highlighting the night on Sunday. The jazz band at the high school is going to be there Saturday. So there's a diverse array of different things. And coming back again this year, we'll have the ASL interpreters at the stage. So we're really excited to be able to have them back and know that they were a helpful part of the festival last year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's been a lot of growth in East Lansing over the years. How has that changed the festival today from what people might remember it being like 10 years ago or even 5 years ago?
Yeah, so I first started coming to the festival when I was an undergrad, so we're talking like 20 years now. um, so I've been here to see it evolve, even if I wasn't a part of it.
Hmm.
And it used to be up Albert Avenue, and we used to use the City Hall parking lot. Um, it used to be all the way down Albert as well, which it still is now. But just the reconfiguration. I know where the was it the Newman Lofts building and the Albert parking ramp is. It used to be a surface lot, and a lot of stuff happened in the festival there. I think maybe that was the food court, and maybe there was a performer stage there too. So the footprint has changed a lot. The overall goals of the festival have remained the same, to provide a weekend of fine art and entertainment. So I think that's, going back to your original question, I think that's another one of the reasons for our longevity, is that we are consistent, but we add something special or cool every year to keep it fresh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I know a festival of this size benefits from some great partnerships. You mentioned CATA. I know has been a big partner throughout the years. What partners are helping drive the success? What new ones have you created in the time you've been with the festival?
Oh, new ones. Well, Delhi actually is a new partner for us. They're a sponsor, and now they're in the artist demo area as well. MSU FCU has continued to support us, and it's really cool to have them downtown again, or not again, but like in a bigger way.
Hmm.
Um, the Graduate Hotel has been a great partner. They host an artist award. They call it the Go Green Award. Um, then Jackson has continued to be a great partner. They actually sponsor our performance stage, so we're really grateful for them. Um, we have some just really supportive grants that we continue to write and receive as well through the Arts Council and the MACC. And it may seem like an obvious connection, but the East Lansing Arts Commission, I write a grant for them usually, and they are great support of the innovation of the festival as well. So
Hmm.
we're really grateful.
Well, speaking of partnerships, the City of East Lansing has been a longtime member of the Arts Council of Greater Lansing. Can you talk a little bit about how that relationship has developed over the years and why it's important to arts and culture in East Lansing?
Yeah, so I think that the Lansing Arts Council is really great about getting the word out about events, connecting artists to events. You've always been great about sharing our call for artists so that we get in front of new faces, faces that we maybe don't have the contacts for. Um, and then things like this podcast, this is great. New advertising opportunities, and the grants, obviously, facilitating the grants has been really crucial. The grants have actually, they're what help us advertise beyond Ingham County, and um, to get the word out into other communities, not just like Michigan, but nationwide. The artists are from all over the country. So Arts Council has really been influential in helping out with that.
Well, I know the Arts Festival isn't your only focus, as you mentioned at the top of the interview. Can you talk a little bit about the other festivals and events going on in East Lansing? Why are those important to the community?
They're important to the community because it helps get people out of their houses, hanging out with their friends. There's a lot of businesses downtown East Lansing that have extra viewership during the festivals, that people are like, "Oh, I'm going to come back for that later on in the year or later this month or whatever." Um, and just get people using our downtown and our parks. I actually have a couple flyers here. So the next event is going to be this way, the Jazz Festival. So that's coming up June 21st and 22nd. And then the East Lansing Farmers Market, that opens June 2nd. But that's every Sunday, June through October. So we've got some pretty fun things. I know my office mate is working on planning the concert series, which brings people downtown. That's a fun one because you can grab your dinner or you can sit up on the balcony at LS and enjoy the music. And then there's a children's concert series that you can do downtown or down in Valley Court, and Moonlight Movies. It fills out the entire green space down there. So it kind of shows different ways that you can use the public spaces, and it opens them up as well.
Mm-hmm. Heather, we've covered a lot of ground, but is there anything I didn't ask you about that you would love for folks to know, either about the art festival or about events in the city throughout the year?
Well, going back to that CATA partnership with the East Lansing Art Festival, we're really excited this year because not only has CATA increased their partnership, but Sarah, who runs the UAB's MSU Craft and Art Fair, her and I have been working really closely together to make our events more seamless and cohesive. Mm-hmm. So she's opened up some parking closer to Grand River on campus that's going to be available for anybody coming to visit, and it's a surface lot. So that's great. And then she's also helped to facilitate the partnership with CATA so that we'll have a shuttle again this year from Lot 89. And they've agreed this year to increase the frequency of their stops. So I think in the past it was maybe every 20 minutes. Now it's every 10 minutes. So you won't have to wait as long, and you can avoid the crowds and just park in the back of campus, hop on that shuttle, and it'll do the rest of the work for you. So we're just really grateful for those two partnerships.
Oh, yeah. As someone who has ridden that shuttle many times, that's a high volume trip. So that's good to hear.
Yes. Yep.
Well, if folks want to learn more about the festival, where can they find information?
Well, they can go straight to our website, elartfest.com. And I have uploaded the performance schedule, the artist demonstrations, and our food truck lineup for the year on the website now. I will be working on uploading artist information over the next couple weeks. But that is the best place. And then we also have our Facebook and our Instagram, which are both EL Art Fest. Mm-hmm. And you can hang out with us there.
Well, I wish you much success with this 61st annual event and with all of your events this summer. It sounds like it's a fun summer planned in downtown East Lansing.
Of course, there's always going to be something fun and entertaining to do downtown.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today, Heather.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you.
This podcast has been a production of the Arts Council of Greater Lansing. To learn more about them, go to lansingarts.org.